Ever have moments where it feels like time is going by too fast? Those days, you want to go on a nostalgia trip. But what if while you're doing that, you encounter a racing game that's too fast? That was me playing this game from the early 90s. This is the original F-Zero for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. As this is the first game in the series, there's no story to speak of. You pick one of 4 racers, choose your league and difficulty, then race in futuristic tracks across the galaxy at speeds that make Mario Kart feel sluggish. This game uses similar graphics to Super Mario Kart, presenting what appears to be a 3D space with 16-bit sprites. Thanks to its Mode 7 technology, F-Zero is able to show off a rather impressive racer with its hover cars on these bright tracks. There's also a lot of color that adds more excitement and life to the game, along with decent spark and explosion effects. The audio is a bit less impressive though. Sure, the music is decent with its early 90s 16-bit techno tracks, but they feel like they're just hanging back, letting all the visuals and some of the sound effects take center stage. That may be more due to the technology than the composition though. On the sound effects, they're about what you'd expect from a game published in 1991. Instead of taking out your rival racers with Koopa shells, F-Zero is all about navigating these tight corners at breakneck speeds. Granted, it doesn't feel nearly as fast as F-Zero GX, but don't be fooled. That says more about the difference in visuals and power of the Cube versus the SNES, and less about how exhilarating the game is. And it's fun because of how much focus is on racing rather than customizing every detail of your hovercraft, as would become more common 20 years later. But the designs of the tracks and the hover technology do make this game play differently from most racers. Hovering allows you to cut those corners better and scrape the borders without getting stopped in your tracks. Though I still wouldn't recommend driving on the borders, because this game is unforgiving. To recover energy which heals your car after crashing into other cars and track borders, you need to be exactly on a recovery lane. You can't be swerving from side to side. Otherwise, you run into the other part of this game's lack of mercy. Wait, this time I can get... No! No! Damn it! Why?
What the fuck did I do wrong?
Now the game is pretty limited in its content, only 4 racers to choose from, 3 leagues where you race on 5 tracks, 3 difficulty levels, and no multiplayer. Multiplayer being a rather bizarre omission for a racer, but the core of this game is very compelling, something for those who like speed and don't mind the stress a game like this tends to induce. On one hand, I'm surprised that Nintendo hasn't made a new game in this series in 16 years, but on the other hand, this is a game with a niche market. It's really just meant for racing fans who like future themes with intense challenge. It's available for free on Nintendo Switch Online though, so it's worth giving it a try if you have an account. Well, that's my review of F-Zero for the SNES. If you like this review, check out my previous reviews of Star Fox for the SNES and F-Zero GX for the GameCube. See you all next time!